Well, hello, this is Peter Combs from Bidamount.com, Bidamount Live, and P.O. Combs Asian Art in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And today is Friday, April 1st, 2022, and this is our weekly video. We do these every Friday. We take a look and see what's been going on in the Chinese and Asian art market in the last week, particular focus on what's happening over on eBay, what's going on in some of the live auctioneer sites, and so forth. So let's get started. One thing I wanted to mention was this week we began adding extra videos. For those of you that subscribe to the global member pages, we're going to start doing pretty regular videos on there as well. A number of you have asked about them. People have asked, well, could we do more on the live auctioneers results, a bit more on the content, reviewing the auction results and the content from the global pages. So what we decided to do was we'll just start doing them, and we're going to put them on the global member page itself right here, okay? And if you're a subscriber, you just come to the home page, and the videos will be sitting right there. And we're going to try and do a couple of them a week. And so if you like the videos we do, the regular ones, and if you subscribe, you get these too. So it's you get a couple of extra videos each week on a few other topics. It's a little less formal, and I think it's a good thing. A lot of people have asked for it, and I thought, well, why not? Why not? It's not that hard for us to do, so we're happy to do it. All right, now let's take a look. A couple of things I wanted to go over. One of them is this. This is the results of the Doyle sale from Asia Week. We didn't talk about that yet. Rick Cervantes had a very good auction. Overall, everything did quite well. The sell-through rate appeared to be in the 90+% range. Everything, all the interesting things seemed to find a home, and the prices were good. And it was and Rick saw a continuation on his sale of what we saw across town at Sotheby's and Christie's. Good jades, good porcelains, good bronzes, things like that all did fine. And we'll take a walk through and take a look at a few results. There was this plate, for example. It's a Ming style charger, probably 18th century, maybe a little earlier. A beautiful form though, beautifully done, very Ming in appearance. It had a bit of heaping and piling on it and all that. Here's the back of it. Nice looking plate. And a lot of people would say this is late Ming. I agree with Rick on this. I think it's the bluish tone of the body, the way the foot is done, and all that. I think this is probably an 18th century plate done in the Ming style. But in any event, it was estimated at $2,000 to $3,000. Ended up doing really well. Brought $8,500. Nice looking plate, but it was big. It was 14.5 inches in diameter, which has a lot to do with that price. A lot to do with it. And then there was this, a really good Republic period Famille Rose landscape vase, and it was I forget how big this was. Not big, 10 inches, but really nice quality, beautiful quality Republic work all the way down. Just fantastic work all the way down the piece. And some people really loved it. I thought the estimate was very reasonable. It may have come from an estate or something, and the family said sell it. So Rick did what a good auctioneer does. He put a low estimate on it to encourage participation, and it went to where he probably thought it was going to go anyway. $16,000, so more than 15 times its high estimate. It's very good result, very good result. But it was a beautiful piece of porcelain. Beautifully done. And this was another Republic piece that I think went under the money. If you're a Republic buyer, this is 13 inches tall. And it was that style of vase where they did these applied bats on the shoulders. And we've seen them before. They put these bats on the shoulders of big charges during the Republic period and on the shoulders of vases during the Republic period. It's a well-known a decorative addition, and it had this beautiful millefiori decoration, I guess is the best way to describe it, all over the body with these floating flowers, and then this wonderful blue dragon that stood out against the surface just perfectly. This was a really nice vase. Now, it was drilled. The bottom of it was drilled. Somebody had turned this and decided to make a table lamp out of this at one point in its life. But it doesn't bother me. I think this was such a pretty vase. And it went for just $800. And when I first saw that, I thought, oh, this should bring 2,000 or 3,000, and it didn't for some reason. Who knows? And this gets back to the old thing about, you go through these previews, look at the estimates, come to some idea what you think the estimate is low. And Doyle's is like a lot of the other auction houses these days. They're pushing for as modest estimates as they can get to keep those reserve prices down. They want to sell the stuff. They're not there to put it up and have it pass and then have it go back to an angry consignor. They want the stuff sold, and low estimates and low reserves encourage bidders, and in most cases. And in this case, somebody got a great buy, and that's why you want to pay close attention to these sales. Doyle's gets great things, as does Freeman's. We're going to talk about them in a minute. And then there was this very attractively done late Ming Bowl, sort of Jiajing to Wan Li period in there, but beautifully done. Very crisp, very clean decoration. A lot of this later Ming stuff could be a little bit blurry at times, a few mistakes and that kind of thing. This was meticulously done, and it had a $500 to $700 estimate. It's a 5-inch bowl, and people loved this bowl. I think they just thought it was a great example, and had a Chenhua mark on the bottom, as I believe I remember seeing, and it ended up, let's see here. No, it wasn't a Chenhua mark. It was it read "Beautiful Vessel for the Rich and Honorable." Oh, well, there you go. There's something we all want to be. It went for $1,300. All right, and I hope it went to somebody who's rich and honorable. All right, and this is one thing I wanted to mention, was a couple of lots did pass this Yuan, the Ming Dynasty, Kang, that kind of thing. And I don't talk about it enough, but when you see auctions and things pass, if it's something you liked, it's never a bad idea to reach out to the auction house and see what they want for it. If they'd be willing to sell it. The post-auction sales are very common, and very often estates want the stuff sold because they're trying to settle the estate. They can't wait for another auction, and if an auction has had a number of things from an estate in it and overall they've done fine, very often the auction house will sell you the piece directly at a very fair price, just so they can clean up their books, the estate can clean up their books, and everybody goes on their merry way. And sometimes you can get a great buy. So in a case like this, where it didn't sell, it had a starting bid of $1,500 and a $3,000 to $5,000 estimate, which I didn't think was unreasonable. It's a very interesting piece of porcelain. Call up Doyle's, or call up whoever the auction house is, and say, hey, is that available post-sale? Can I buy it? And sometimes you will find yourself getting an extremely good deal compared to other pieces. And I've had this case myself, and I've bought some absolutely amazing things for sometimes like half or a third of the low estimate. So it's worthwhile to call up and follow up with the auction house and see if you can't make some sort of a deal. All righty. And now the next thing I want to hop over to is the Freeman sale. I mentioned it briefly the other day. I just want to run through a few of the lots. There's some really good things coming in. The sale's in about 2 weeks. And I want to just run through it. You have in here, you have this really good, if you're an Arita buyer, you know what this is. You recognize it, I'm sure, right away. It's a late 17th century Arita jar with this very nice classic landscape scene. You see the same scene on pieces and collections all over. The Ashmolean Museum has some of these and so forth. And this is a very nice piece of Arita. And the estimate is I think, extremely reasonable. $1,000 to $1,500 with a $500 opening bid. If you're an Arita buyer, you want to chase this. Get a condition report, but chase it. Call up and speak to Ben at Freeman's and see what they can tell you. And then there was this, a pair of famille noir ceremonial ewers. They refer to these as monk's cap ewers sometimes, and they've been around for a long time. They made them they made other forms somewhat like this in the Ming Dynasty and so forth. This is in famille noir, done in sort of what many think of as being in the Kangxi style. Except that we now know that these very few of these weren't made in the Kangxi period. These were made in the 19th century, emulating Kangxi work. But a pair of these is extremely unusual, and they're just about exactly the same size. The one on the right is slightly taller than the one on the left, judging by the picture, maybe by half an inch or something. But displayed on a mantle or in a bookcase, these would look absolutely fabulous because they're pretty good size. These aren't little tiny things. These are 14 inches tall. One is 14 and a quarter inches tall, and the other is 14 and 3/4 inches tall. So, like I said, the one on the right's about a half an inch taller. But opening bid of $2,600 and a $5,000 to $7,000 estimate, which I think is right in there. But really pretty, really, really pretty. And he's also got some good bronzes worth checking out. There's this one. It's a 17th century. To me, it looks like a 17th century bronze. He has it dated 17th or 18th century, which is probably a smart way to do it. But nice old surface on this. This bronze has a beautiful surface. It caught my eye, and I love the wooden cover with the jade hat finial on top. This is later. This was probably added in the 19th century or so, but what a nice package. This finial is probably worth $600 or $800. And then you have this beautiful bronze under it, that nicely carved wooden lid, and estimated at $3,000 to $5,000. And it doesn't appear to have a minimum opening bid. 0 is the starting bid. So evidently there's maybe not much of a reserve on this. I don't know. But it's a very attractive bronze, and it is 11 inches in width, so it's pretty good size. It's a big bronze. $3,000 to $5,000 is a reasonable estimate. If you can get it for less than that, bravo. All right. And the other thing I mentioned this in the video actually that we did for the on the global member page, the sort of private video, was this bamboo. I just love it, so I'm going to mention it again. A really attractive immortal bamboo carving. Finely detailed, good color, well done all the way down. Just an absolutely wonderful looking piece of bamboo. Love the face with the whiskers and the eyebrows and all that business. And estimated at $1,500 to $2,000 with a $750 opening bid. It should go through that estimate. It should bring over $2,000, but we'll see. But if you like bamboo, you collect scholars objects, this is a great thing to look at. All right, and then moseying along over to here, I've had on the Identification Assistant Service, I've had 6 inquiries for this bowl, wanting to know what I think of it. It's a really attractive Qinlong market period dragon bowl. And this form of bowl is around. They did them in the Kangxi period, they did them in the Yongzheng period, Qinlong period. It was a very, very popular pattern. It looks fine to me. I think the starting opening bid, of course, is very reasonable, and the estimate is reasonable, $6,000 to $8,000. You have to examine it. It looks like it might have had a little bit of a chip out of the foot in one place or something. Check the condition report on it over in here. There's some darkened areas, and I'm not sure what that is. It looks like it might have had a nick out of it. Call and talk to Ben or whoever's there, get a condition report. But a nice looking bowl, and it should certainly bring the estimate. And if the color is a little bit brighter and stronger in person than in the photos, sometimes the photos wash out the colors a little bit. These can bring as much as $15,000 to $20,000. So we'll see how that does. But it's a nice looking wutsai example. All right, and then there's this big phoenix dish, a beautifully done 16th century or early 17th century, Wan Li, but a nice big plate. I think it's 15 inches or something in diameter, 15 and a half inches in diameter, great big one. Just a $750 starting bid, and you're off to the races on that. It should do pretty well. It's a good looking vase. Now these caught my eye. These are very, very interesting. And initially, I thought, what are these, repros or something? Because the glaze is so strange. But then I looked at it a little more carefully, and these are absolutely fascinating. I don't think they're very, very old. I think they're 19th century or late Qing. But here's a picture of the bottoms, and this foot rim and all this business looks pretty good to me. And what's interesting, it does have an old label on it, and I think the label's legit. It's from the British Antique Dealers Association, And all it was it's a sticker they used to put on things to export them, a declaration of age that it's over 100 years old, so people didn't have to pay duties on them. But these are very, very attractive. It's a pair. They're about, what are they, 14 inches, 17 inches tall. These are big. They look smaller in the photo for some reason. I don't know. If in the photographs, they read as being smaller than that, but these are 17 inches tall. All right, and what's interesting about them is the inscription on the bottom, Dahan Guangbu Zhizhao. And what it means is Guangwu is a Han Dynasty emperor, and it's basically saying these were made in, I think it's meaning to say in the remembrance of the Guangwu emperor from the Han Dynasty, something like that. It's a tribute inscription. Clearly these weren't made in the Han Dynasty. But stylistically, I think they're wonderful. And I think the estimate of 3,000 to 5,000 is reasonable. These are big, 17 inches, so they're this big. And great color, great surface, and it has got, one of these highly unusual glazes. And they do turn up from time to time. They often did them just once. And these are sort of in the rare bird category. If you go looking them up, you're going to have a hard time finding another pair of these, I guarantee it. But by all indications, they look to have very legitimate age to them, and I'm suspecting they're probably 19th century pieces, mid 19th century or so. But really interesting. If you like oddball porcelains, these are something worth looking at. All right, so that sort of finishes up over there. If you want to, like I said at the beginning, if you want to see more videos about things that are on Live Auctioneers, and you use the global pages, you'll find those videos over there on that page. And they're free. Also, there's no ads on them, which is nice. We were able to set it up with the links to the private area on YouTube, and they let us leave no ads. So they're more fun to watch, I think. I subscribe to Google, but I mean, I have a YouTube Prime account, so I never see ads when I watch videos. And for me, it's worth the $9 a month. But anyway, the ones that are on the global pages are ad-free. All right, now let's see what's happening over on eBay. My computer's been a little slow to load this morning. You see the pages? There we go. There was this Longquan Celadon charger. Looked absolutely fine. Nice looking glaze, sort of a swirly glaze, a swirly pattern coming around the inside. Nice deep sides. Rather attractive looking plate. And it was 33 centimeters in diameter, about 13 inches, and it sold for $1,445. But I liked it. I thought it was a very attractive thing. Really did. I thought it was nice. And then heading over to, let's see, here. I've got to wait a second for the pages to load. Like I said, my computer's been acting up, or our Wi-Fi isn't working terribly well here out on the island, which is entirely possible. Sometimes we have no Wi-Fi at all. We have guests that come here, and if they want to use their cell phones, they have to sometimes walk up to the end of the street to get up on higher ground because there's a wall of granite between our house and the nearest cell phone tower, which is 6 miles away. The way it is. All right, the Kangxi period iron red and gilt decorated plate. I like this. I think I commented on it last week. I had a couple of people ask about it. I thought it was very, very nice. It ended up selling for $437, which is about right. I think it's a pretty strong price. They had listed it as a Kangxi to Yongchen period. I think it's pretty clearly Kangxi, but he was just, the seller's being a little cautious there. But it was a nice looking plate. It was a good eye picked that. That was very attractive. And now we wait for the page to load again. And then there was this Sang de Bouffes or Lang Yao type brush washer, Inkwell. It was listed for some reason. They listed it as Kangxi period. It's not Kangxi. It's late. It's Qing, mid 19th century or later. There it is. I actually have a thing like this at my house here. It looks a lot like this that was redone by Yamanaka Company. It has silver mounts on it and a jade lid, and it was turned into an inkwell at one point. Gave it to my wife for Christmas one year. And it's the same type of well. These are all 19th century. There's a good profile of it. But it was a nice looking inkwell. It had good color, good glaze, and I thought it was awfully nice. And it ended up selling for $898. So I think everybody figured out it probably wasn't Kangxi, but good looking. All right, and then mosey over to the next one. We get the page to load. Be nice. And then over to this. This was sort of a surprise. Again, another nice piece of Republic period porcelain, beautifully enameled with a chin lung mark, 4-character mark on the bottom. This is a very common mark that you see on Republican wares, done in Famille Rose in particular. And here's a picture of the figures. They're neatly drawn, meticulously decorated, and so forth. Nice facial expressions. Love the bird on the tip of the kid's finger. I think that's great. And here's a picture of the inside. It's a little dirty. There's a close-up of the base. You get that nice texture in that foot rim here and here. Very attractive. This did well. It brought $11,101, which is a very strong price, but it's inscribed, sealed, signed, and was 7 inches tall. And it says early Republic period. I don't know if it was early Republic period, but it was certainly Republic period. Could have been mid-Republic or a little later, judging by the style of work. But really attractive piece of porcelain. And I think the price was strong because it was. All right, and then on to this, the 18th century Famille Rose export platter. These platters typically don't bring a lot of money, but this one was better done than most of them. It has nice looking decoration, good figures in the scene, and if you went over and took the time to pull up the detail shots, you'll see why it did well. Nice strong yellows, very attractive figures in a landscape scene, nice looking scene, very Chinese taste. The edges are nice, a triple gilt band running around the outside, conforming to the shape of the body. And here's a nice shot of it from above. And this was a pretty good size platter, as I recall. It was like 15 inches or something, I think. I think it was, or 13 inches, 13 and a quarter inches. But beautiful detail. Sold for $1,125. There you go. All right, and then on to this, the double dragon dish in Famille Rose, late 19th century, late Qing, but beautiful quality. And the guy, there were 2 of these up for sale. Here's a picture of the back of it with like a Tongchi mark on it, and nice looking rim on it, and had that rounded upper and then lower rim area. Beautiful quality. And this one brought the most. It brought $639, and the other one I think brought $590 something. Very, very close. They were virtually identical or very similar, and these were being sold by Decor Arts LLC in Connecticut. There you go. We've had them before. They get some good things from time to time, for sure. And then this, the Kangxi or 18th century Cobalt glazed food pot. We talked about this last week. I thought it was awfully nice. It had a bit of wear to the gilding, but it was an attractive package, I thought. A very attractive package. I liked the glaze on it. And hold on a second. See, the computer's very slow today. I'm not sure why. Of course, this computer hasn't been turned off probably in a month, so I should probably reboot it. All right, now, yeah, here's the bottom of it. Good looking around. The gilding on top was in pretty good shape all over. And it ended up doing fine. It brought $1,105 or 840 pounds. All right, and then on to this. Now, this was listed as a Kangxi blue and white 3 Friends of Winter jar. And it's an 18th century jar, but I'm not convinced it was Kangxi. I think it might be Qin Lung, from what I'm seeing. It could be Kangxi. It's one of those types that the body looks awfully round to me, but the bottom of it looks pretty good. They have it listed as, I think that says Qin Lung. They put Qin Lung on there. That was sort of my impression. I didn't notice that before. To my mind, this looks more like a very good Qin Lung period jar than a Kangxi jar. Either way, it was an interesting piece of pottery, an interesting piece of porcelain, because it depicts the 3 Friends of Winter, which is a highly collected pattern. The bamboo, the pine, and the blossom tree, and here it brought $971. All right, but beautiful piece of porcelain, freehand decorated, very, very fluid. I like the way that was done. All right, and then moseying over toward the end here, we're going to talk about just a couple of things that are coming up. There'll be a bunch of things on the newsletter page this week for those of you that use the newsletter page that we found, and some nice vases on there. And there's also this rather nice Ming bronze. This closes later today at 10 o'clock tonight, so I hope you have time to get to it. A good-looking little bronze ought to go up another $1,000 before it's done. And then there's this. This is sold by one of our favorite sellers, Miguel. This very pretty, big Qinlong mark, but 19th century vase. And this thing is, I think it's 24 inches tall or something. Let's see here. 24 and a half inches tall. This is a big piece of porcelain, but nicely decorated. If you like this, they did it in bands. So the lowest section has these bands of precious objects, it looks like, in fruit. And then you have a landscape scene. Then above it, you have a dragon running around, floating in the clouds. And then a variety of interesting border patterns running up to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 variant border patterns on this thing. They really went to town. It is not, in my opinion, a Qinlong example, but a beautiful piece. This closes on Sunday. It'll be on the global pages. I mean, on the newsletter page rather, and it's up to $526. It ought to bring $2,000 to $2,500, but it may even bring more because it's awfully pretty. It could bring $4,000, and we'll see what it brings. Now that I've said that, I may be completely wrong. Try not to be. And then over to this one. Let the page load. And these, a pair of 18th century Chinese export garniture vases. We've seen these before. They turn up from time to time. They were typically made in sets with 2 of these and then 3 sleeve vases to go with it with lids. But these have a nice underglazed blue. They're brightly colored, beautifully done, and they're up to $271, and they ought to get up to the $800 to the $1,000 range before it's all done. All right, but these are attractive, and these are being sold by Archimedes, and I think they have another vase. If you come over to the newsletter page and check it, I think they have another similar lot up as well. And you want to check that out. He's a seller over in the UK, and he has fairly reasonable shipping. These vases would be 39 pounds shipped here from London to here, which isn't bad. It's about $54 in shipping, which I think is very reasonable. All right, and that's about it for the week. All right, if you like the videos, give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Please leave comments. I go through them each week, or I go through them on Sundays with my wife, and we like to go through and see what people are thinking of and what's interesting to you, and we do try to do very much what the people that watch the channel and use the website want to hear about. So we do take note of any suggestion, as long as it's nicely said. And do subscribe, and have a great weekend. All righty, and winter's behind us, and hoping for a good year here. We're hoping. All righty, thanks for watching, and see you all next week. Okay, bye-bye.